So, do you sing better at night than in the morning? Now, if that's you, this is the exact video for you. Because by the end of this video, you will understand what exactly do you need to do if whatever I've just said fits you perfectly. And when you do make this change that I'm about to tell you next, you'll realize that you will experience fast growth in your singing that you've never ever experienced before. Isn't that what you want? Hey, it's JJ here, and if this is your first time watching my videos, what I do is I help singers like you unlock your high notes fast by showing you how you can access your high complete mixed voice vocal placement. So if that sounds like you, then go ahead, hit the subscribe button down below and let's get started. So the reason why I filmed this video is because firstly, recently, quite a few of my private clients have been asking me the same question because of the different time zones, right? When I have clients from the US, from the UK, from other countries, I live in Singapore, right, from other parts of the world where sometimes I'm having lessons with them, it is night time here and it is morning time there. Sometimes it is morning time here and sometimes it is night time there, okay, because we are living on opposite sides of the world, which is actually pretty damn cool. What happens is, a lot of the times, students will say, oh, but I don't really like the morning lesson because in the morning I usually don't sing too well, right? And then whenever I hear that, I'm like, we have to solve this issue. We have to solve this issue. And also because when I look back at myself, I used to have the exact same thing, right? I used to be like, whenever I schedule a lesson, right, a Skype lesson, a Zoom lesson with my coaches from the UK, from the US, from Italy, from European countries, whenever I do that in the past, guess what happens? Every time when it's a morning slot, I try to avoid that slot so badly because guess what? In the morning, I just can't sing. My high notes all disappear in the morning. Where are my high notes? High notes. Why do you guys only wake up in the afternoon? Right? Can you guys not be so lazy and wake up in the morning just like me? Guess what? I'm not the only one facing this issue. Once I started coaching a lot of private clients, I realized that a lot of my private clients, they have the exact same resistance towards singing high notes in the morning. So listen up. The truth is this. The truth is where you can't sing high notes in the morning, but you can only sing them in the afternoon, and you can become better at night is because it is a sign of poor technique. A sign that you still haven't accessed and mastered your high complete mixed voice vocal placement. Why do I say so? Because look, the reason why singing high notes in the morning is difficult for you is because in the morning, your body's not fully woken up yet. You haven't been using your voice a lot in the morning. You've just slept through like 8 hours or something. And then when you wake up in the morning, guess what? Of course, if you have a low placement, because when you're singing a low placement, you have to understand this. Your tongue, your larynx, your jaw, everything, you feel like you have to support more as well. You're using more energy that you actually need to sing those high notes. Whereas if you're actually in your high placement, then guess what? You don't actually need to use so much energy to begin with.
Nice.
You will still be able to sing those high notes, no problem at all. Also, because a high placement is more efficient. Efficiency means what? You use less input to give you a greater output. Because of how efficient your high placement is, you don't have to take care of so many different things. You don't have to warm up for hours and hours before you can sing well. Because with a high placement, like I've said, talking and singing becomes the same when you have a high placement. Your high notes is just like speaking, it's just like talking, as we have seen in many of my artist analysis, those singers. So let me ask you a question. In the morning, can you talk properly? If the answer is yes, then you should also be able to sing properly if your placement is right, if your placement is strengthened. But if singing and speaking is a huge world of difference away from you, then guess what? It is just a sign of poor technique, a sign that your placement is not right, not strengthened yet.
Oh my God.
So to solve the problem, it is not to wait until at night and then try to sing. It is to actually train your high placement until it's so good that singing in the morning and singing at night, it has only a bit of variance, right? 1 or 2 notes is fine. But anything more than that, a huge variance of a few notes, a half octave, 1 entire octave, then there's a huge no. There's a huge problem here that we're not addressing. In fact, I tell this to my private clients who stay in the other part of the world. I say the more you fear singing in the morning, the more I want you to book a lesson with me in the morning.
What?
Literally that. Because guess what? If you can sing in the morning, then guess what? Afternoon, night, any other time, it should be so easy for you. If during your hardest time of the day, which is the morning, you can still sing those high notes. Of course, the other parts of the day, you'll be able to sing well. But because guess what, if you truly want to become a singer, right? Or even just you want to be able to sing well, it is not only you're going to sing at night or sing in the afternoon, right? If you take a look at a lot of singers, like we have this show called Good Morning America, or like some morning shows where we look at Harry Styles, we look at some of those singers, they do sing in the morning. So based on your logic, if singing in the morning is really so hard, then why can those singers slay those high notes in the morning? Why?
It's gone. Sometimes you gotta lose somebody.
I remember for the longest time, I avoid vocal lessons in the morning. I avoid even talking. I even avoid just vocalizing in the morning because guess what? You feel like shit. What do I mean? Because I know how it feels like when in the morning you try to sing those high notes. It just doesn't fucking comes. And then you feel depressed. You feel like shit. Like, why am I working so hard but why am I practicing and yet my high notes just doesn't come? And then you'll be like, no, fuck it, I'll just sing it in the afternoon. Because guess what? At night, in the afternoon, when your entire body is more woken, right? Even if you're in a low placement, you can sing the high notes, you can push through. But in the morning, your body's not woken up enough to push through at a low placement. Does that make sense? It is only when I realized that, hey, to be a truly great singer, to be a singer who actually have great technique, you have to be able to sing in the morning, afternoon, and night. In fact, you have to be able to sing even when you wake up, right? Doesn't have to be a morning, even take an afternoon nap. Ask yourself this question: after I woke up from an afternoon nap, do I feel like I have to warm up in order to sing well? If your technique is really good enough, the answer should be a no. Even if you just woke up from a nap, you can just sing straight out from a get-go. You shouldn't have a problem with it. But of course, that is a really advanced level. I couldn't do it for the longest time in the past. But afterwards, you realize that, in fact, here's what's really interesting, is that one thing I realized is that after sleeping, after an afternoon nap, I actually sing better. Why? Because mentally, I'm more conscious. And when I'm more conscious, I can keep my high notes in my high placement better. I can lock them in my high placement without allowing them to drop off my high placement. Because guess what? Like, I think I've said this before. Your high placement, right? You're singing your vocal cords, everything is controlled by your brain. It all starts up here. Your concepts, everything all starts with your brain. So in fact, for me, I actually sing better after a nap. After I woke up. Not when I'm tired. Same goes for a lot of other singers, right? If you notice, a lot of times when a singer, they go for tours, they usually have to take a nap before their tours, right? Or singers, they will make sure they have adequate sleep. Then based on logic, why those touring singers, why don't they just like wake up in the morning? If they have a morning show, they wake up even earlier, like super early, so that they can allow their voice to, warm up for the entire day. No, they don't have to do that. Maybe wake up 1 hour earlier to warm up, possible, but it's not a whole world of difference. We have to understand this. So the key message that I'm trying to deliver here and I'm trying to drive home here is, if you feel like you can't sing in the morning, I don't want you to say fuck it. I want you to say fuck you morning and actually start training in the morning. Start singing and practicing in the morning. Get comfortable with getting uncomfortable. Well, guess what? In life, the only way to grow, not only for singing, for anything in your life, the only way to grow is step out of your comfort fucking zone. Because once you step out of your comfort zone, it is where you experience true growth. Not when you're always in your comfort zone. That is where you never ever grow. Your range will forever be there. You'll forever not be able to sing high notes. You'll forever only be able to scrape through some high notes at night. And in the morning, your voice becomes practically useless. That shouldn't be the case at all. In fact, I will argue that some of the best practices, they are done in the morning. They are done on what we can term as bad vocal days. Because guess what? Most likely, your performance wouldn't be on the morning, but you can have a performance on a bad vocal day. And on a bad vocal day, your voice might feel a bit thick, like you have it in the morning. So guess what? You actually want to make use of those bad vocal days, of those mornings where your voice doesn't feel good, to actually practice. You see, most people, they'll just shy away from it, right? When they feel that their voice, I phlegm, I can't seem to hit those high notes feel strained, it's hard. It is a sign for them to back off and practice another period, another day, maybe at night or something. For me, when I experience that, it is a sign for me to just fucking go, because I know that by the end, 1 hour later, if not 2 hours later, I'll come out victorious. I will better the morning, I'll better a bad vocal day, and come out from the other side victorious. In fact, that is true, because through my own personal experience and what I've been coaching my clients, a lot of the time it's really interesting, right? When I'm coaching my clients, they can tell me this: I'm not feeling good, I might have a sore throat or something like this at the start of a lesson. At the end of the lesson, they're hitting high notes, and then they are fucking surprised.
Impossible.
Let me tell you how's that possible, because I fucking pushed you through this fucking hour and get you into your high placement. Because if you guys know this as well, I'm not sure if I've said this before, the truth is this: when you have a high placement, even if you are sick, you have flu, you have cough, you have fever, you're not feeling well, guess what? You can still deliver a decent performance. Your voice wouldn't go to the script land or go to the gutter completely. That wouldn't happen. But if you're stuck in a low placement, a bit of flu, a bit of cough, a bit of this and that, guess what? Your whole voice is into a rubbish bin. Your whole voice becomes useless. But if you see some of the best singers, even when they're sick, they can still pull it off. Why do you see that YouTube comment section or some other performances, you'll see fans of those singers commenting below, wow, this singer, he or she can sing so well even though he or she is not feeling well that day. Why? Why do you think those singers can do that? It's because of high placement. It's because they have learned to practice in the high placement during their bad vocal days, such that even when they have to perform on a bad vocal day, it is something that they are comfortable with. What is uncomfortable to most of us, right? Stepping out of our comfort zone, it has become part of their comfort zone as performing singers. So now guess what? You as a singer, if you have not ever tried to perform on a bad vocal day, or you have not tried performing in the morning, what you have to do, if you're serious about singing, is that you have to find those periods, and when you do experience a bad vocal day or a morning that you just feel like it could be every morning for you, right? Just make use of that opportunity to practice in the mornings where you feel like your voice is not going to work well. A lot of the times you realize that it can be a mental limitation. You have actually gotten better because you have found and accessed your high complete mixed voice vocal placement, but because all along there's a mental lock up there. You think that you can't do it. You think that you can't sing in the morning. You think that you can't sing those high notes because in the past you haven't been able to do it, so you always avoid that. In fact, it is something that even till today, I'm gonna be honest with you, I myself, I battle with it someday. What do I mean? Sometimes when I sing a song that's very high during a live show, I myself, I'll be afraid. But when I actually sing a song, I'm like, why am I ever afraid of it? I shouldn't be afraid of it. I can sing high notes now. Why should I be afraid of it, right? And if some of you can relate to this, right? Sometimes, especially if you're grown up in a family where money and resources are very scarce, right? And when you grow up and you actually earn some money, in fact you earn some good money, here's the thing, right? You'll walk into an expensive shop. It could be a restaurant, it could be a shop which sells expensive luxury goods. What's interesting is this: when you look at the goods, even if you are a millionaire, you're earning quite a good amount now. Guess what? Sometimes you'll be like, so expensive, I can't afford it. Then the next moment you realize, wait, I'm actually rich now. Wait, what? Did my mind just tell me that I can't afford that? That's nonsense. Guess what? Your past is always, a part of you in your past is always going to stick you and haunt you. So unless you get comfortable in your singing, unless you actually go into those terror zones, singing in the morning, singing in a bad vocal day, unless you get into it, you might not even realize that actually you can do it now, simply because you've accessed your high placement. Does that sound interesting to you? Right? Because that is something I personally experienced as well, and hopefully if you can relate to it, that'll be nice as well. And I'm not sure if you can relate to it, but eventually when your technique is good enough, I'm sure when you come back and watch this video again, you will understand what I'm trying to get at right here. So to sum this all up, remember one thing: the next time you feel like your voice is you're on a bad vocal day, or it is in the morning, don't fucking run away from it. I want you to approach it. I want you to go towards it and actually look at it eye to eye and tell yourself that I'm gonna conquer you. I don't care if my voice is gonna feel bad right now, because at the end of 1 hour, after my vocal warm-up placement, after I'm locked in my high placement, I'm going to be able to sing those high notes after an hour or 30 minutes.
Damn, boy.
eventually the time period will be faster. It can be even it can be even 5 minutes, right? Just wake up in the morning, warm up for 5-10 minutes. Eventually, you'll be able to reach that level where you warm up for 5 to 10 minutes and yeah, my high notes are back. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. But you're not going to achieve it until you start actually deliberately practicing and going through the experience of getting to your high placement even in the morning on a bad vocal day. Hey, it's JJ here and welcome to the end of another episode of Mindset Singing or Singing Mindset, whatever you wanna call it. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button down below and I'll see you in another video.